Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. Big show today. NBA, NHL, college football, Thursday night football, soccer. I'm going to give out my pick for the World Series. There's golf. I'm going to give out my NFL Thursday bet. Do it on this day throwback, news and notes, and best bet. We'll begin with the NBA. A lot of games from yesterday and only two tonight. Um, Knicks beat the Cavs 119-111. Karl Anthony Towns ended up playing, and I was wrong about this game. Um, but I did say if Towns played, I thought they were probably going to win, but I didn't think he was playing at this time yesterday. Hornets beat the Nets 136-117. Magic over the Heat 125-121. Raptors blow out the Hawks 138-118. Sixers over the Celtics 117-116. Bulls over the Pistons 115-111. Grizzlies over the Pelicans 128-122. Bucks over the Wizards 133-120. Jazz over the Clippers 129-108. Spurs over the Mavs 125-92. Suns over the Kings 120-116. And the Blazers lose at home to the Timberwolves 118-114. More on their head coach later in the podcast, as we know. All right, two games tonight. They are both on ESPN. First up, 7:30. Thunder Pacers. The announcers for the game, Mike Breen, Richard Jefferson, and Tim Legler again. So, the new big three on ESPN with back-to-back. I mean, it's the finals rematch. That's why they're there. They shouldn't be there because this game's not as good as it was in the finals. My line for this is Thunder by 10, total 235 and 43 hundredths. And it is OKC by 7.5, total 231.5. So I'm going to give out the over. I think that OKC's offense, even without Jalen Williams, will be competent. And I think maybe some of these Indiana guys can light it up from three, but I do like the minus the points with the Thunder as well, but the podcast picks me the over. We haven't given out many sides so far. I mean, I gave out a couple favorites yesterday. And then Nuggets Warriors on ESPN. The commentators for this one are Dave Pasch and Doris Burke. My line is Nuggets by 1, total 228 and 47 hundredths, and it is Golden State by 2, total 233.5. This is an under. I just think that's a little high. I know a lot of the NBA totals went way over these first couple games of the year. I mean, opening night, the Rockets OKC would have went under if it didn't go to overtime. And I believe that this is an under game, and maybe it's a go 115, 110 kind of game or something like that. Alrighty. On the hockey, we'll go over the results from yesterday, and then hockey has a big window tonight. And I don't even know if there's national games tonight. There might be. Devils over the Wild 4-1, Sabres over the Red Wings 4-2, and the Habs over the Flames 2-1 in overtime. All right, tonight 6:45, Blackhawks Lightning on ESPN Plus and Hulu. Bob Wischusen and AJ Malesko on the call. The Lightning are big favorites, minus 315. The Blackhawks are plus 250. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 110. Unders minus 134. Blackhawks plus 1.5 is plus 104. Lightning minus 1.5 is minus 128. I'm gonna do first period. Alternate puck line. Lightning. Minus 1.5 plus 360. I know it's a little crazy, but I'm going to do it. 7 o'clock, Sharks, Rangers. Boy, do the Rangers need this game. They're minus 265 favorites. The Sharks plus 15, over under 6.5. Over is plus 108, unders minus 132. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 115. Rangers minus 1.5, minus 105. I'm going to lay with the Rangers on the puck line. Kind of a must win. They haven't won on home ice yet. They're 0-4. And they're due. And against the worst team in the NHL, they got to do it. Ducks, Bruins. Pick a minus 110 each way. Over under 6.5, minus 110 each way. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 60. Bruins minus 1.5 plus 205. I don't trust the Ducks on the road yet. I'm going to do Boston minus 110. Flyers, Senators. Sens minus 154. Flyers plus 128. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 124. Unders plus 102. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 205. Sens minus 1.5 plus 164. Under 5.5 plus 102. Don't feel good about it though. Penguins, Panthers. All of a sudden an interesting game. To some degree. Panthers minus 200. Pens plus 164. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 140. Unders plus 114. Pens plus 1.5 is minus 152. Panthers minus 1.5 plus 124. It's either going to be the Panthers on the puck line or the under. I'm going to lay the puck line with the Panthers minus 1.5 plus 124. I'm not a believer in the Pens yet. Red Wings, Islanders. Isles minus 134. Red Wings plus 112. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 110. Unders minus 134. Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 225. Isles minus 1.5 plus 180. I'm going to take the Red Wings at plus 112. 8 o'clock, Mammoth, Blues. Blues minus 115. Mammoth minus 104. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 124. Unders plus 102. Mammoth plus 1.5 is minus 265. Blues minus 1.5 plus 210. I'm going to go with the Mammoth minus 104 on the road. Canucks, Predators. Pick a minus 110 each way. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 132. Unders plus 108. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 265. Preds minus 1.5 plus 210. This is the second time, I believe, this week where I'm going to take the Vancouver Canucks in a pick'em. The other time I lost against Pittsburgh, so I'm going to try again here. Kraken, Jets. Jets minus 230. Kraken plus 188. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Kraken plus 1.5 is minus 134. Jets minus 1.5 plus 110. I'm going to go with the under at minus 108. 9 o'clock, ESPN Plus and Hulu. Kings, Stars. Both these teams off the slow starts. On the call, Mike Monaco and Ray Ferraro. Dallas minus 144. Kings plus 120. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 138. Unders plus 104. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 10. Stars minus 1.5 plus 168. I'm going to go with the under 5.5 at plus 104. Canes, Avs. Good game. Avs minus 137. Canes plus 114. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 140. Unders plus 112. Canes plus 1.5 is minus 220. Avs minus 1.5 plus 176. I'm going to do alternate over 6.5 plus 118. And last but not least, Habs, Oilers. Oilers minus 20, Habs plus 180, over under 6.5, overs plus 114, unders minus 140. Habs plus 1.5 is minus 142, Oilers minus 1.5 plus 116. All right, this is probably going to be my biggest underdog outright give of the year so far. And that is going to be the Habs at plus 180. There's just value there. All right, now we'll go to college football. We had 2 games last night, one tonight. The one tonight's in the Sun Belt, and the 2 last night were in Conference USA. Delaware over Middle Tennessee 31-28. And in Missouri State over New Mexico State 24-17 in overtime. All right, tonight, 7:30, ESPN 2. South Alabama, Georgia State. On the call, Matt Barry and Tom Luganbill. So I have Georgia State by 6, total 56, and 7/20. I had to do some math there on the spot for a second. And it is South Alabama 6.5, total 54.5. I think the wrong team's favored. Georgia State should have the minus. I think South Alabama's overvalued. Give me Georgia State plus 6.5 and plus 190 to win the game outright. All right, now move on to Thursday Night Football. Good game. Vikings at the Chargers. We'll see if J.J. McCarthy comes back or not tonight. With JJ, I have Chargers by 4, total 44 and 19/20. And without JJ, I have the line at 8. Let's see what Vegas says. 3, total 44.5. I think that tells you that they think JJ McCarthy's coming back. All right, so with McCarthy, slight lean, Chargers -3. Without McCarthy, I'm probably betting it. So I'll probably bet it, but not a lot because of the uncertainty with McCarthy. And I know the Chargers are getting some guys back, which is good news for them. Okay, now move on to notable soccer. We'll go over the results so far from today and obviously yesterday's results, and then we will look ahead to the rest of tonight and tomorrow. All right, so yesterday, Champions League. Athletic over FK Karabakh 3-1. Galatasaray over Bodo Glimt 3-1. AS Monaco, Tottenham 0-0 draw. Atalanta Slavia 0-0 draw. Bayern over Club Brugge 4-0. Chelsea over Ajax 5-1. Liverpool over Frankfurt 5-1. Real Madrid over Juventus 1-0. And Sporting CP over Marseille 2-1. MLS, Chicago over Orlando 3-1. Portland over Salt Lake 3-1. Liga MX, Tigres over Pachuca 2-1. Carretera over Guadalajara 1-0. Atlas over Leon 2-0. Tijuana Toluca 0-0 draw. And Atletico over UNAM 1-0. ELC, Queen Park over Swansea 1-0. Watford over West Brom 2-1. Wrexham over Oxford 1-0. And Middlesbrough over Sheffield Wednesday 1-0. All right, and finals so far today. Europa League, Braga over Red Star 2-0. Bologna over CFB 2-1. Fenerbahce over VfB Stuttgart 1-0. Go Ahead Eagles over Aston Villa 2-1. Lyon over FC Basel 2-0. Racing Genk, Real Betis 0-0 draw. Ferencváros over RB Salzburg 3-2. And SK Brand over Rangers 3-0. Conference League, AEK Athens over Aberdeen 6-0. AZ Alkmaar over Slovan Bratislava 1-0. BK Hacken Rayo 2-2 draw. KUPS and Bradwick 0-0 draw. Drita Jalan and Amania 1-1 draw. KF Skandija over Shelburne 1-0. Fiorentina over Rapid Vienna 3-0. Legia Warsaw over Shakhtar Donetsk 2-1. And Jagiellonia Strasbourg 1-1 draw. And in Pro League finals, El Raida over Al Khaloud 1-0 and Al Tawun over Al Faya 2-1. Going on now, Europa League, AS Roma, Victoria Plzen, Celta Vigo, Nice, Celtic, SK, Sturm Graz, Feyenoord, Panathinaikos, Lille, PAOK, Maccabi, Tel Aviv, and FC Midtjylland. Malmo, FF, and Dynamo Zagreb. Nottingham Forest, FC Porto, FC Freiburg, and FC Utrecht, and Ludogorets Young Boys. Going on round conference, Rijeka Sparta, Pragu, Crystal Palace, a.k.a. Laranza, Siusu Kravaya, FC Noah, Lausanne Harman, Lincoln Lech, Mainz Zerzinski, Samspor Dynamo, Shamrock and NK Selje, and Sigma and Rukho. And then Pro League going on right now. Al Najma and Al Ali. All right, we have a women's game tonight on TNT. U.S. Portugal. U.S. is a big favorite, as we know. Minus 2,000. Portugal's 22-1. The draw's plus 950. U.S. is going to dominate. I'm going to go with U.S. minus. If there's a spread, we don't have a spread. Oh well. I'm gonna go under 3.5 goals, minus 1. I thought there'd be potentially a lot of goals, but I'm gonna do that instead. All right, and then 10 o'clock is Mexico and New Zealand. And by the way, the women's game, like I said, is TNT. So Mexico is minus 1 or minus 425. New Zealand's plus 950. The draw's plus 450. Over 3.5 goals, plus 130. And then English League One is Exeter City and Plymouth. That's going on now. Why did I bring that up? I don't know. We usually don't do English League One. All right, tomorrow we have a couple games. Oh, the MLS playoffs start tomorrow. That's interesting. So I'm looking to see if there's any games I might give out tomorrow in soccer. Women's friendlies tomorrow afternoon is Poland, Dutch, Italy, Japan. So one's 12, the other's 12:15. 1:30 Switzerland, Canada, and 2:30 is Morocco, Scotland. UEFA Women's Nations League tomorrow. 11 o'clock Kosovo, Turkey. 11:30 Czechia, Austria. 11:45 Germany, France. Noon Cyprus, Albania. Finland, Denmark. 2 o'clock Northern Ireland, Iceland. Ireland, Belgium, and Spain, Sweden. All first legs. Then the Pro League tomorrow morning, 10:45 Al Fateh and Al Ettifaq, 11:30 Neom SC and Al Collegian, and 2 o'clock is Al Adiyad and Al Hilal. Dutch Eredivisie tomorrow, 2 o'clock. I'm going to give out this one. Herenveen and NAC Breda. And Herenveen's minus 40, NAC Breda's plus 320, the draw's plus 290. I'm going to do over 3.5 goals, plus 142. The rest I'll give out tomorrow, because I plan on recording a little earlier tomorrow for the show. Okay, now we'll move on to my World Series pick. I've not done that yet, and I usually like to do a day before the World Series starts. So it's Blue Jays, Dodgers. The Dodgers are prohibitive favorites in the series, despite not having home field advantage. They're minus 225. Toronto's plus 188 to win. All right, best player in the series, of course, is the one and only Shohei Ohtani. Probably the best player in baseball. It's between him and Aaron Judge, but with that great performance, I think we're reminded that he probably is that when he's pitching like an ace and hitting 3 home runs in a game. But you could argue the most talented player in baseball. The best player is probably Aaron Judge, but the most talented player is Shohei Ohtani. But yeah, you can make a case for best player for him, obviously. All right, managerial matchup, I would give the edge to Dave Roberts, who has 2 World Series rings, over John Schneider, who made a lot of good decisions in this postseason. Best pitcher in the series has to be Yoshi Yamamoto. I know Ohtani's been fabulous. Blake Snell's had moments. But Yamamoto, I think, has the highest ceiling of the pitchers. Better bullpen, Toronto. I think that their bullpen has done a fantastic job in the playoffs, shutting down the Mariners' offense for a lot of that series. The Yankee offense, obviously, was shut down by it. And the Dodger bullpen really hasn't been tested other than maybe against the Phillies. It's just not a trustworthy bullpen. And then, obviously, the Brewers were the Brewers. And that series, how it went. And, so, my pick of the series. I just think the Dodgers are so much better than Toronto. I hope Toronto goes further than I think they might. But I just think the Dodgers are head and shoulders above everybody else in baseball, and they've yet to be tested. And I don't know if they are going to be tested in this series. I think if the Yankees were still in it, they would have tested them. Philadelphia was not the test I thought they would get, and I even thought that Philadelphia was going to beat them, when I was wrong. And I thought there was a chance that Milwaukee was going to test them, and I was wrong. So I don't think this goes back to Toronto. I think the Dodgers get it done in 5 games. The exact games favored to plus 210 is 6, plus 235 for 7, plus 255 for 5, and plus 550 for 4. I do like the plus 255 thing. Yeah, but a lot of people like Toronto. Maybe Toronto Game 1 Series Dodgers, that's plus 320 on FanDuel. I like that. But LA Dodgers 4-1 is plus 360. That's my bet that I'm going to give out. And then Dodgers in 6 is also favored with Dodgers in 5 at plus 360. Dodgers in 7's plus 490. Jays in 7's plus 590. Dodgers sweeps plus 680. Jays in 6 is plus 710. Jays in 5 is plus 1120. And the Jays sweep is 18-1. And the World Series MVP, I know Freeman won it last year. For this time, I actually think Shohei. I mean, I won't be surprised if he's a minus. Yeah, Shohei's plus 165. I know. Instead of taking the Jays to win it, I mean, taking Vlad Jr. for MVP at 6-1 is pretty good. But Shohei Ohtani, World Series MVP at plus money is just music to my ears at this point. And I just, like I said, I think the Dodgers dodged a bullet with Toronto beating the Yankees and Toronto beating the Mariners. I thought the Mariners could have given them a series, but the Mariners blew Game 7 and blew another game in that series. So, yeah. I think Dodgers in 5. Toronto either wins tomorrow night or Saturday at home to make it exciting. Alrighty. Now we'll move on to golf. We'll look at the current leaderboard for the Black Desert Championship. Tied for first right now, 6 under is Jasper Svensson and the Jordan Ollison. Tied for third with 5 under, Victor Perez, Ryan Gerard, Justin Lauer, and Paul Peterson. Tied for 7th with 4 under, Ben Coles, Cam Champ, Davis Lipsky, Grayson Sieg, and Harrison Endicott. Tied for 12th with 3 under, Rico Ho and Hayden Buckley, Max McGreevy, Doc Revens, Heath Viglia, Isaiah Salinda, Jason Day, Mac Meisner, Ben Silverman, Carl Phillips, Vincent Whaley, and Frankie Caban. Tied for 24th with 2 under. Sam Ryder, Adam Schenk, Luke List, Lucas Hodges, Emiliano Grillo, Harry Higgs, Patrick Rogers, Trey Mullinax. Tied for 32nd with 1 under. Christian Zienerhaus, Seaman Power, Adam Svensson, Michael Thumjorson, Ben Martin, Tim Whiting, Jeremy Paul, Connor Ho, Will Chandler. Oh, this is moving on the fly. Rio Hisatune, David Ford, Harry Springer, Pat Kazir, Jackson Suber, Gavin Cohen, Alex Serena, Matt Wallace. Tied for 52nd at even. We're going to do the notables now. Adam Putnam, Brant Snecker, Chad Ramey, Doug Gibb, Henrik Norlander, Taylor Moore, Matt McCarty. I thought they said Max McGreevy. Brett Horschel, Kurt Katayama, Nick Dunlap, Max Homa, Francesco Molinardi. Tied for 72nd and 1 over. Ryan Palmer, Scott Piercy, Cam Young, Stefan Yeager. By the way, Carson Young, my bad. Patrick Knowles, David Skins, Jason Hadley, Matthew Neesmith, Bryce Garnett, Sean Kim, Matt McNeely. Tied for 82nd with 2 over. Camilo Vegas, Dean Thompson, Danny Walker, Dylan Wu, Adam Hadwin, Brett Horschel. Tied for 92nd with 3 over. Chandler Phillips, Alex Smalley, Martin Laird. Tied for 96 with 4 over. Stuart Fisk. 99th with 5 overs. Lucas Griffin. Tied for 100th with 6 over. Will Gordon. And eliminated, or not eliminated, some guys that have yet to tee off. So some of those guys are Pearson Cootie, Taylor Montgomery, Joseph Burnett, Mark Hubbard, Bayo Hostler, Paul Fishburne. All right, my NFL Thursday bet. I'm actually going to stay away from tonight's game. I think that it's too much uncertainty with McCarthy, so I'm going to actually stay away. So, my NFL Thursday bet is going to be the Patriots -7 at home against the Browns. I just think that New England is superior. So I'm going to take them minus the points against the Browns, only because I think the Browns are going to have a letdown, and I think New England has just been beating up on these bad teams, so that's just a good call, in my opinion. Okay, on this day, I'm going to pull up Instagram real quick. Like I said, this is a fun gimmick. ASN does this. It's all sports news. This day in history. 2020, the Buccaneers signed Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was not on the Bucs long. He had that incident at MetLife against the Jets with his jersey off. That's my memory of Antonio Brown. 2021, the Braves advanced to the World Series. They beat the Dodgers. Or is it the Padres? I don't remember who they beat. It was one or the other. I don't remember. Um, why do I feel like it was the Dodgers? And they had and they redeemed themselves. Um, they did beat the Dodgers in 6 games. 2019, the Cubs hired David Ross. Obviously, they were not good under David Ross. They made the playoffs in that COVID season as a wild card, and then they lost to the Marlins and Don Mattingly. And then they fired him in 23 because Greg Counsell became available. And they hired him right away. 2023, the Rangers advanced to the World Series. They beat the Astros. In Game 7. 2022, the Phillies advanced to the World Series. They get it done against the Padres. Nick Castellanos hit the big home run. 2012, the Marlins fire Ozzie Guillen. Oh my God, that was a disaster. The Marlins made all those moves. Jose Reyes and it was just a complete flop, and then they traded all those guys to the Blue Jays next year only for that to be a flop with John Gibbons. 2015, the Royals advanced to the World Series. They beat the Blue Jays. 2021, Illinois upsets number 7 Penn State in 9 overtimes. I really don't remember that. The 9 overtime game. Like, it was after COVID. Yeah, I kind of don't remember that. 2022, Astros advanced to the World Series. That was over the Yankees. That was the Jose Altuve home run. 2014, Lakers, Steve Nash to miss the season. I guess he was hurt. 2023, Diamondbacks forced NLCS Game 7 in Philadelphia. And back to the Steve Nash one, that was the year Mike D'Antoni was the coach. Or did he resign already? I don't remember. Mike D'Antoni already resigned, and then I forget who they hired. Was it Byron Scott? And Colby was still playing then, too. And then in 2015, the Mariners hired Scott Servais. Scott Servais was there a couple years. Obviously, he was the manager when Robinson Cano was there. Yeah, wow, he was there longer than I thought, from 16 to 24. And he's in the mix for some other managerial jobs. So yeah, Dan Wilson replaced him and did a good job. So I didn't realize Scott Servais was there for that long. All right, so there's your throwback. All right, to the news and notes. Obviously the biggest story of the day is the gambling scandal, which saw Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier get arrested in connection with the gambling investigation. The FBI arrests them both. And former NBA guard and current assistant coach Damon Jones was also arrested. And in a press conference, FBI Director Kash Patel announces the arrests of Rozier, Billups, and Jones in relation to an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. Billups and Rozier were placed on immediate leave by their teams. Oh, by the NBA. Tiago Splitter was assumed coaching duties in Billups' absence. And then the U.S. Attorney for Eastern District of New York, Joseph Nasello Jr., said that Rozier is a defendant in the NBA gambling case, which was an investigation the league cooperated with, while Billups is a defendant in the poker case, and Jones is a defendant in both cases. And in total, 6 people have been charged in the alleged sports gambling scheme, while there are 31 defendants in the illegal poker case. This is a crazy story. I think that Chauncey's coached his last game, and I think that Rozier's probably played his last game for the Heat. And I don't think it's going to affect the Miami Heat's. Maybe it'll be a little bit of a distraction off the court, but Rozier didn't even play last night. Maybe they knew this was coming down, and that's why he didn't play. But Billups coached last night, having no clue. This was that, or maybe he knew, but maybe he didn't. But he couldn't have known because he coached last night. Then why did Rozier sit? Which is weird. So we'll see how Tiago Splitter does. The former Spur, now coaching Scoot Henderson and the Blazers. So yeah, that's just an absolutely crazy story. I mean, bonkers of a story. And I don't think it's over yet. So a Kevin Durant doc series is in the work, as the series will follow final chapters of KD's career. Kendrick Perkins made a prediction for Victor Wembanyama's next contract. From Dallas, as the Spurs might have to, he said the Spurs might have to pay Wemby 5 years, $1 billion in all cash. And that was a bit of the highlight, one of the highlights from Wemby last night, who was probably the best player, the player that had the best performance last night. And the Mavs started Cooper Flagg at point guard. I mean, the Mavs got blown out because of how good Wemby was, but I don't think the Mavs. I don't think it's time to overreact, but I think they were right to start Cooper. And then the Rockets offered Tari East $100 million, as the Rockets reportedly made that offer to him before the deadline. That's according to Brian Windhorst. Jimmy Butler and the Heat reached a settlement as Butler to recover half of his $6 million in fines and withheld salary. Pharrell Williams to perform at the World Series Game 1. That's pretty cool. The Blue Jays want Ohtani gifts back, as John Schneider hasn't forgotten about the mark that Shohei took during the free agent meetings. NBA insider Chris Haynes is confident that Jason Tatum will return at some point during the regular season. I don't think he should. I don't think he will, because I don't think the Celtics are going to be very good. And then Anthony Edwards ended up playing against the Blazers last night. There's rumors that he was going to sit due to back spasms. Same thing happened with Karl Anthony Towns, who was thought to miss the game with the grade 2 quad strain. But Cat ended up playing, and the Knicks ended up winning the game. They probably don't win without him. Case Wallace won't play tonight against Indiana with a knee injury. And I believe Caruso's out for OKC too. The Bills may target a wide receiver trade, as they could go receiver again after acquiring Amari Cooper last year. Saints wide receivers Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed are being monitored ahead of the deadline. Brandon Graham will make $2.44 million on 1-year protected deal with the Eagles. Jermaine Johnson's on the trading block from the Jets, who have high trade prices, as an NFL staffer said that the Jets aren't serious yet about making moves. How can you not be fucking serious? This is a Woody Johnson problem. He was freaking delusional. Um, Raiders waiting on trades as executives believe that the team is opening to a Jacoby Myers deal, but not actively shopping him. Browns open to trading a running back. Jerome Ford can be moved. I could see that with the breakout of Keyshawn Jukins. The Chargers are desperate for a running back instead of still looking to upgrade the position with Hampton and Harris out. Maybe that's a Jerome Ford team. Rodgers' retirement not certain, as he may not be done if he continues having this good of a season. Trey Savage is starting game 1 against the Dodgers, which is really interesting. I can't wait to see him against that lineup. Because against the Mariners, one game he stunk, and the other game he was good. And then he obviously was lights out against the Yankees. The Tony Vitello hire a gamble, and that's what John Heyman said. And then Dave Dombrowski says that reports about Bryce Harper being traded couldn't be further from the truth. I don't think they're gonna trade Bryce. I mean, there are probably the reason why there's trade rumors around that team is because Romuto free agent and somebody else is a free agent on that team that's a good player. I can't think of who it is. Oh, Schwarber. And if both those guys leave, then they're probably not going to be the favorites in that division. Like, say if Scooble's available and the Mets get him, the Mets should be favorites in that division next year if they have Scooble and the Phillies lose both those guys. But as of right now, the Phillies should still be the favorites in that division next year. But if they lose both of those guys, they're in trouble. So the Toronto Tempo is expected to name Sandy Brondello its head coach ahead of inaugural season. That would be a fantastic hire. I think that she should still be coaching the New York Liberty. I don't know why she isn't. But, yeah, that would be a fantastic hire for the Toronto Tempo. So the Dallas Wings hire USF's Jose Fernandez as its new coach. So they're getting a college coach in there. We'll see how that works out for a team that is rebuilding. Malik Neighbors has yet to have ACL surgery, which is crazy. He tore his ACL a month ago. Sean Payton denies Russ criticism, as he says his comments were meant to praise Jackson Dart. Yeah, okay, Sean Payton. I think he was taking a shot at Russell Wilson. I do. But I do think he was praising Dart as well. Cam Scatterboo was at the Knicks opener last night, and so is Aaron Judge and Cam Schlittler and Devin Williams. Devin Williams probably got booed. Everybody else probably got cheered. I mean, it would have been cool if Jackson Dart was there. Who would have gotten the biggest hand? Probably Aaron Judge, but I know Aaron Judge is buddies with Brunson, so I'm not surprised he was there. So VJ Edgecombe drops most points in an NBA debut since Wilt Chamberlain. And that was my second choice for Rookie of the Year. I picked him second. Ty Lue had a quote after the Jazz blew out the Clippers. He says, I take responsibility for that bullshit after blowout loss. Bill Self says that there will be unintended consequences on G League commit. Looks like Aaron Jones is coming back tonight. He says, I take responsibility for that bullshit after blowout loss. Bill Self says that there will be unintended consequences on G League commit. Looks like Aaron Jones is coming back tonight. Bill Self says that there will be unintended consequences on G League commit. Looks like Aaron Jones is coming back tonight. Brock Purdy nearing return, as John Lynch says that he is still uncertain to play this week. AJ Brown has a hamstring injury. That's something to watch for Sunday. And if he doesn't play, then that my Eagle bet they gave out earlier in the week doesn't look good. Mike Evans placed on injury reserve. Collarbone, has a chance to return in December. Lou Gehrig's uni sold at an auction. As his jersey from his final home game went for a record price. I'm trying to pull up the price number. $2.7 million. Aaron Judge and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. headline AL Silver Slugger finalists. I'm sure Cal Raleigh's up there too. Yeah, Edgecombe, 34.7 boards and 3 assists. And then we talked about how good Victor Wembanyama was the other night, or was it last night? And then Michael Vick, on first year as college football head coach, despite being 1-6, he's 1-6. He is enjoying the experience, he says. All right, so there you have it for news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going against South Alabama again, and I am taking who the hell are they playing? I just know it's against South Alabama. Georgia State getting the 6 in the hook. Plus 6.5 at home against South Alabama, and I'm going to dabble up a little on the money line as well at plus 190. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and looking at everything tomorrow, and we have Fab 5 tomorrow and a lot of other stuff to do. Have a good one, everyone.